Between August 1942 and February 1943, about 2 million soldiers and regular people faced the deadliest battle in all of history at Stalingrad. They faced terrible hunger, getting hurt by the freezing cold, never-ending street fighting, and were almost sure to die. The battle was mean and went on forever. But for the people trapped in the broken city, staying alive was a daily nightmare of broken buildings and fighting. Here's what life was really like during the Battle of Stalingrad. Hey, before we start, if you really fall asleep to these stories, that's what they are for. So, please like or subscribe, and tell me where you're listening from and what time it is. Comment below. I love seeing listeners from Texas to Toronto to Tokyo, all here at the same time. Well, not at the exact same time. You know what I mean? All right, let's head back to Stalingrad, 1942. Trust me, it's going to be quite a trip. But first, get comfortable. Really? Fix those pillows, pull up that blanket, because where we're going, you will want to be warm and comfortable. Your name is Alexei. You're 19 years old. You're about to die in Stalingrad. Well, probably. Your chances are not good, but let's not think about that yet. It's August 21st, 1942, and you're crossing the Don River with the rest of your group of soldiers. The Germans are coming. Everyone knows it. The whole city knows it. 500,000 people live in Stalingrad right now, and most of them are probably wishing they had left when they had the chance. You didn't get a choice, of course. You're a soldier. You go where they tell you to go. The dust is amazing, like you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Every step kicks up clouds of it, and it gets in your mouth and your nose, and it covers your teeth. The August heat is awful. Sweat runs down your back, soaking through your shirt. Your rifle weighs about 1,000 pounds. Or maybe that's just how it feels after marching for 3 days straight. The guy next to you, Dmitri, keeps making jokes, bad ones. Hey, Alexei, you ever been to Stalingrad before? He asks. No, you say, saving your breath. Me neither. I hear it's nice this time of year. Very explodey. You don't laugh. Nobody laughs. Dmitri doesn't seem to care. The Volga River stretches out in front of you, huge and brown. On the other side, you can see Stalingrad right next to the western bank. Factories spit smoke into the sky. The tractor factory, the Red October steel plant, places that were making tanks and weapons just days ago. They probably still are. The buildings look normal from here. Strong and not touched. That's about to change. You cross the river on big, flat boats. They're packed so tight you can barely breathe. Men are pressed against men. Rifles are poking into backs. Everyone is trying not to fall into the water. The Volga is wide here, maybe a kilometer across. That's a lot of open water. A lot of time to be an easy target. But the German planes don't come. Not yet. You make it across. Stalingrad spreads out in front of you. The city runs for about 30 kilometers along the Volga. But it's not very wide. In some places, it is only 3 or 4 kilometers deep. Squeeze 500,000 people into that space, and you get a lot of apartment buildings, tall ones, with 4, 5, or 6 floors, lots of factories, lots of steel and concrete. Your orders are simple. Dig in, hold the line. Not one step back. You've heard about Order 227. Everyone has. Stalin's rule from last month. Not one step back. If you retreat without being told to, your own army will shoot you. Officers who retreat get sent to special punishment groups, which is pretty much a death sentence that just takes a little longer. So yeah, no pressure. You're sent to a spot near the middle of the city, not right on the riverbank, but close enough. Your group finds a building that was partly bombed. You set up in the basement. Someone finds a mattress. It's got springs poking through and smells like mold, but it's better than the dirt. You almost laugh. Almost. Unlike your warm bed right now, with its clean sheets and soft pillow. Unlike the safety you're wrapped in while you listen to this. Remember that feeling. Hold on to it, because at 6 a.m., On August 23rd, 1942, the world explodes. You're not asleep. Nobody's sleeping. You've been listening to the far-off rumble of big guns all night, and it's getting closer. The Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, has been checking out the city for days. Small attacks, testing the city's defenses. This is different. The sound hits you first. Not separate explosions, just one long roar. Like the earth itself is screaming. The basement ceiling shakes. Dust rains down. Someone is yelling. But you can't hear them over the noise. You scramble up the stairs and out into the street. The sky is black with planes. I'm not exaggerating. Not being dramatic. The whole sky, from one side to the other, is filled with German bomber planes. Hundreds of them, maybe 1,000. They're flying so low you can see the black crosses on their wings. The bombs fall like rain. Buildings 3 blocks away just disappear. 1 second they're there, the next. There's just a cloud of dust and fire where they used to be. The powerful waves of air from the bombs hit you in the chest and knock the air from your lungs. A woman runs past you, screaming. She's on fire, actually on fire. Her dress, her hair, she's just running. No direction, just running. A soldier tries to help her. Then the building next to them gets hit by a bomb, and they both disappear into the fireball. The bombing goes on for hours and hours. You've never heard anything like it. Never imagined anything like it. The sound alone would make you go crazy if you let it. So you don't let it. You focus on staying alive. That's it. That's the whole job. You find yourself in the basement again. You don't remember going back down. The building above you is being destroyed piece by piece. Each bomb that hits sends big pieces of concrete crashing down the stairs. The whole building groans like a dying animal. Dmitri is next to you, his face white with dust. This is fine, he says. Totally fine. Everything's fine. He's lost his mind. You've all lost your minds, probably, when it finally stops. When the roar fades to just the crackling of fires and the screams of the hurt people, you go back outside. Stalingrad is gone. Not completely. The buildings are still standing, most of them. But the city you walked through yesterday is gone. In its place is something from a nightmare. Whole blocks of buildings are burning. Bodies are everywhere. Not soldier bodies. Regular people. Women, kids, old people who couldn't leave, who had nowhere to go. The streets are blocked with broken pieces of buildings. Buildings have fallen in on themselves, spilling their insides across the road. Furniture, dishes, someone's piano split in half. A child's doll, not broken at all, is sitting in the middle of a big hole in the ground. Smoke rises from 1,000 fires, blocking out the sun. It's like evening in the middle of the day. The air tastes like burning things. Burning wood, burning rubber, burning bodies. You'll never forget that smell. Never. The official number will say 40,000 to 75,000 people died in that one bombing. One day, more than in some whole battles. But nobody's counting right now. Nobody has time for counting. The Germans are coming. You can hear them now. Engines, lots of them. Tanks. The special squeal of German tank treads on the street. Your lieutenant, a guy named Petro, who looks about 12 years old, gathers what's left of your group. Maybe 20 men. There used to be 40. You don't ask where the others went. They're going to try to push through to the Volga. Petro says, to cut the city in half, we hold them here. Here is a street corner, just a street corner. Broken buildings on one side, a burning building on the other. With what? Someone asks. Petro holds up his rifle. With this. Yeah, that's the plan. Stop German tanks with rifles. Except Petro is smarter than he looks. He's already figured out the one advantage you have. The Germans want to use their tanks, their big guns, their planes, all that beautiful, expensive equipment that works so well on the open plains. But Stalingrad isn't an open plain anymore. It's a maze, a burning, broken maze of concrete and steel. Tanks can't move well in these narrow streets. Half of them are blocked with broken buildings anyway. The Luftwaffe can't bomb what they can't see through the smoke. And the buildings are the key. They're made of strong concrete with steel inside. Stalin's 5-year plan built them strong. The bombing knocked them around, for sure, blew out the windows, and made some floors fall. But the steel frames are still standing. The walls are still up. Every building becomes a fort. You're about to learn a whole new kind of fighting. Not the big battles across fields that you trained for. Not the amazing charges. This is something uglier, closer, more desperate. This is city fighting. The first German soldiers reach your spot around noon. They come carefully, rifles up, looking at the broken buildings. Smart? They've already learned that every pile of broken pieces could hide a Soviet soldier with a rifle and a reason to be angry. You're in a basement window, half buried in bricks. You can see their boots. Just their boots at first, then their legs. As they get closer, Petro gives the signal. The street explodes with noise. 20 rifles firing at once from 20 different spots. The Germans scatter, they dive for cover, they fire back, but they can't see you. You are like ghosts in the broken buildings. One of them throws a grenade. It bounces off a wall and rolls back toward him. He tries to kick it away. He doesn't make it. This goes on for hours. They push, you push back. They bring up a tank. Someone in your group has a special anti-tank rifle and manages to hit it on its top part. The tank backs off with smoke coming out of it. By night, the Germans haven't moved past your spot. One street corner, that's all you held. One street corner, it feels like a victory. It probably shouldn't, but it does. You're learning the pattern already. The Germans own the day. When the sun is up, they have planes to help them. They can see, they can work together. So during the day, you hide. You take small shots when you can, slow them down, make them lose a soldier for every foot of ground. But at night you go hunting. The darkness belongs to the Red Army. Petro explains it that night while you're all close together in the basement, eating whatever little bits of food you can find. We stay close to them, he says, right up against them. So close, they can't use their big guns without hitting their own men. So close their planes can't tell us apart. Hugging the enemy, he calls it. It's very smart, actually. The Germans have all this firepower, all these advantages. But if you're 20 meters away from them, they can't use any of it. They have to come at you with rifles and grenades and knives on their guns. Same as you. And you're defending your city, your home, your people. They're invaders, 1,000 miles from Berlin. Freezing and starving and wondering what in the world they're doing here. That's your advantage. So, you hug them. You get so close you can hear them talking in their trenches. You can smell their cigarettes. You learn to know their voices. And then, in the dark, you kill them, the next few days all mixed together. You're not sure what day it is anymore. Time stops meaning anything. There's only light and dark, only fighting and hiding. The Germans push into the city. They have to. Hitler wants Stalingrad. Stalin wants to keep it. Neither of them cares how many people die in between. The southern part of the city falls first, then the northern part. Your group gets pushed back street by street, building by building, but you make them pay. You make them pay for every step. The Volga is right there, right behind you. A few hundred meters at most, if they push you into the river. That's it, game over. The city falls. You don't let them. You find a 4-story apartment building that looks over a square. Good views, with 3 ways to approach it that you can cover. Petro decides this is it. This is where you hold your ground. You spend a day making it stronger. Barbed wire, landmines, machine guns in every window facing the square. You break holes in the basement walls so you can move between buildings without going outside. Someone finds food, real food, bread, a little bit of sausage. You eat it like it's the best meal you've ever had. Maybe it is. Your stomach is hurting from hunger. It has been for days. The food portions are getting smaller. The supply boats from across the Volga have to go through a dangerous path of German fire. A lot of them don't make it, but you're alive, still alive. Dmitri's still making jokes. Hey, Alexei, you know what's great about Stalingrad? He says, what? At least the rent is cheap now. You almost smile. Almost outside, the city burns. The Germans are getting close to the factories now. The tractor factory, Red October, Barricade. These are the industrial heart of Stalingrad. Stalin has ordered them to keep making things even as the battle rages around them. Workers are building tanks inside and sending them straight into the fight. You've seen it. Tanks rolling off the assembly line with no paint, no testing. Crews climbing in and driving them straight at the Germans. Some of them don't even have gun sights yet. Just point and shoot and hope. The Luftwaffe is overhead all the time now. You've learned to recognize the sound of different planes, the high-pitched scream of Stukas diving, the deeper drone of level bombers. They drop everything on you. High explosive bombs, bombs that start fires. Sometimes they just shoot up the streets with machine guns. You learn to move fast, sprint from cover to cover, never stay in one place too long. Never group together. The broken buildings help. They're everywhere now. Mountains of them. Twisted steel beams sticking out like broken bones. Big holes in the ground big enough to hide a truck. You use it all. Every pile of bricks is a spot to shoot from. Every hole is a safe place to hide. Every basement is a bunker. The Germans are learning too. They're getting better at city fighting. Bringing up flamethrowers to clear buildings, using grenades more, moving in smaller groups. But they're also getting tired. You can see it in the way they move, slower, more careful. They've had huge numbers of soldiers killed or hurt. For every block of buildings they gain, they're leaving 50 or 100 bodies behind. And they're cold. September is ending. October is coming. The temperature is dropping at night, with frost on the broken buildings in the mornings. The Germans aren't ready for it. They're still wearing summer uniforms. Someone in Berlin decided the war would be over before winter. Oops, you've got winter clothes, padded jackets, felt boots, thick gloves. Stalin learned from last year. The Germans didn't. At night, you can hear them coughing, stamping their feet, trying to stay warm. You just wait in your spots, warm enough, patient, and when they get too cold, too tired, too careless, you attack. The days are getting shorter, getting dark sooner. That means more time for night attacks, more time when you have the advantage. Your building looks over what used to be a park. Now it's just churned up dirt and dead trees. The Germans are dug in on the other side, maybe 200 meters away. At midnight, when it's darkest, Petro takes 5 men and goes hunting. You're one of the 5. You make your face black with soot. You move in complete silence. The broken buildings help. They give you cover all the way across the park. You get within 30 meters of the German line before anyone notices. Then it's chaos, grenades, rifle fire, screaming. You don't remember the details, just flashes. The flash from your rifle lighting up a German face. There and gone, the weight of a body hitting you. Fighting, a knife coming out, the wet sound it makes going in. You make it back, all 5 of you. The Germans are shouting. Shooting blindly into the darkness. You're already gone. Back in your basement, Dmitri is grinning. Nice night for a walk, he says. You're shaking, your hands trembling. The adrenaline is wearing off, but you're alive, still alive. The Volga is still behind you. The Germans are still in front of you. And tomorrow, you'll do it all again. Because this is Stalingrad, and Stalingrad doesn't fall. September turns into a meat grinder. That's what the soldiers are calling it, the meat grinder. You go in one end as a person and come out the other end like chopped up meat. If you come out at all, your building, the one you've been holding for 3 days now, has been taken by the enemy and taken back twice. You lost it yesterday morning. You got it back last night. You left 8 German bodies in the stairway. They're still there. Nobody has time to move them. The smell is getting bad. Actually, the whole city smells bad now. Smoke and death and sewage. The water system is destroyed. Pipes are burst everywhere. People are drinking from puddles, from the river, from anywhere, boiling it if they're lucky. Just drinking it if they're not. You have dysentery, a sickness that makes your stomach hurt badly. Half your group has dysentery. The other half has typhus, or both. Dmitri has both. He's still making jokes, though they're getting darker. Hey, Alexei, you know what's great about dysentery in Stalingrad? What? At least you're losing weight. Very slimming. The ladies love it. There are no ladies. The regular people who couldn't leave are hiding in basements. You see them sometimes when you're moving through the sewers, families huddled in the dark. Kids with huge eyes staring at you, like you're a ghost. Maybe you are. The Germans reached the Volga on the northern end of the city. They cut right through to the river. Your group, the 62nd Army, is now completely separated from the 64th Army to the south. You're on your own. Well, not completely on your own. Supplies still come across the Volga in boats at night, moving in the dark, praying the Germans don't spot them. Sometimes they make it. Sometimes you hear the explosions in the dark, and no, they didn't. The food portions are getting smaller. You used to get bread every day. Now it's every other day, then every 3 days. Yesterday, you got a piece of black bread, the size of your fist, that was more sawdust than wheat. You ate it anyway. You chewed it slow, made it last. Your stomach hurts all the time now. Empty, cramping. Your body is eating itself to stay alive. You can feel it. Your ribs are showing through your shirt. Everyone's ribs are showing, but you are still alive. The Germans are pushing hard for the factories. The tractor factory is the big one. Huge, spread out, still making things somehow. You've seen workers in there building tanks, while big guns explode outside. It's wild. The finished tanks just drive straight out into the fight. No paint, no testing, fresh off the line and into the fight. Some of them don't last an hour, but some of them do, and that's what matters. September 27th, that's when things get interesting. There's this apartment building near the center of the city, 4 stories high, that looks over a big square. Your lieutenant, Petro, is obsessed with it. Whoever holds that building controls the square, he says. Whoever controls the square controls the supply paths. It makes sense. It makes tactical sense anyway. The problem is the Germans are holding it right now. Petro gets an order to take it back. He picks 30 men. You're one of them. Of course you are. You've survived this long. So obviously you're ready for suicide missions. You attack at sunrise, it goes badly. The Germans are dug in, machine guns in every window. You don't even make it across the square. Bodies are dropping left and right. Someone is screaming. You're crawling through broken buildings. Bullets are snapping over your head. Then you're hit. Not shot. Not yet. But something explodes near you. And the blast picks you up and throws you. You land hard. You can't breathe. Your ears are ringing so loud you can't hear anything else. You look around and count the survivors. 4 out of 30. Dmitri is one of them. So is Petro. So is a guy named Yakov. You don't know that one well. And you, 4 men. Well, Dmitri says, spitting blood. This is going great. But Petro sees something you don't. A way in, a gap. The building's basement has a collapsed wall. You can get in from the side. Come up through the floor. So you do. It's crazy. Completely crazy. 4 men attacking a building held by maybe 50 Germans. But it works. You come up through the basement like rats. You catch them by surprise. Grenades first, then rifles. The Germans panic. They fall back to the upper floors. You hold the ground floor. Just hold it. That's all. Just don't die. Petro gets on the radio and calls for more soldiers. We've taken the building, he says, which is hopeful. You've taken the ground floor. The Germans still own the rest of it. But more soldiers come, 20 more men, with rifles, machine guns, and anti-tank rifles. An engineer brings landmines and barbed wire. A woman shows up with medical supplies, a regular person. She just walks across the square under German fire like she's going to the market. Her name is Nina. She's a nurse. She sets up in the basement and starts fixing up the wounded. You've got a cut on your arm you didn't even notice. She bandages it. You're lucky, she says. You almost laugh. Over the next week, you turn the building into a fortress. Wire everywhere, mines on the paths to the building, machine guns covering every window. You dig a trench connecting to the next building over, so you can get supplies without going outside. The Germans attack constantly, many times a day. First soldiers, testing your defenses, then tanks. You've got anti-tank rifles on the roof. The guy up there is named Sergeant Pavlov. He's got this system figured out. He lets the tanks get close, then shoots down at them. He hits the thin armor on top. They can't raise their guns high enough to shoot back. It's brilliant. You lose count of how many tanks burn in that square. The Germans bring up big guns and shell the building for hours. The walls crack but don't fall. Strong concrete with steel inside. Stalin's 5-year plan helps again. Between the bombings, you sleep on the floor. On insulation, on anything. The regular people are still in the basement. 10 of them, families who couldn't leave. They just sit there silently while the world explodes above them. There's a girl, maybe 7 years old. She doesn't talk, just stares. You don't blame her. Food is a problem. You're getting supplies through the trench from the other building. But it's not much. Bread portions get cut again. Now you're getting maybe 100 grams a day. About 3 slices, that's it. That's all you eat. You start eating things you shouldn't. Grass, tree bark. A cat shows up one day. Nobody talks about what happened to the cat. Your body is shutting down. You can feel it. No energy. You can barely lift your rifle. Your hands shake all the time. But you hold on. The building gets a name, Pavlov's house. They're calling it after the sergeant. He's technically not even in charge anymore. Lieutenant Afanasev showed up a few days ago and took over. But everyone still calls it Pavlov's house. You hold it for days, for weeks. The Germans throw everything at you. Nothing works, General Chukov. The guy in charge of the 62nd Army has this saying, "We're hugging them so tight they can't breathe." That's the whole strategy. Get so close the Germans can't use their big guns, can't use their planes, and have to fight you hand to hand. It's working, kind of. You're also dying slowly, but it's working. October comes in cold. Frost at night now. You can see your breath in the morning. The Germans are still in summer uniforms. You can hear them at night coughing, stamping their feet, trying to stay warm. You've got a padded jacket. It feels like a luxury. Dmitri got frostbite on his toes last week. But he's fine. Well, not fine, but alive. The factories are hell. The tractor factory falls. Then Red October. The Germans take them floor by floor, workshop by workshop. You hear the stories from guys who fought there. Rooms changing who holds them 5 or 6 times a day, fighting with knives and shovels when the bullets run out. One guy tells you about the grain elevator. 50 Soviet soldiers held a grain elevator for 4 days against hundreds of Germans. 4 days, the building got hit with big guns, caught fire, and filled with smoke. The defenders just kept firing from the burning ruins. When the Germans finally took it, they found 40 dead Soviets. The other 10 had fought until they were out of bullets, then died fighting hand to hand, wild. You hear stories like that and think maybe you're not doing so bad. You're still alive, still holding your building. The Germans control most of the city now, maybe 90%. You're squeezed against the Volga, holding a strip of land, maybe a few hundred meters deep. That's it. That's all that's left. Behind you is the river. In front of you is the entire German 6th Army, and you're holding on. The square in front of Pavlov's house is a graveyard. Bodies everywhere, German bodies mostly. They attack in waves, you cut them down. Sometimes you have to go out at night and push the bodies aside. They're blocking your view. You don't think about it. You can't think about it. They're just objects in the way now, things to be moved. You're not a person anymore. Not really. You're a thing that shoots Germans. That's all. That's the whole job. Dmitri stops making jokes. That's when you know it's bad. When Dmitri goes quiet, you know you're in trouble. He's sitting in the basement one night, just staring at the wall. You sit next to him. Are you okay? You ask. Define okay, he says. You don't have an answer. Nina, the nurse, is still here, still patching people up. She's running out of supplies, out of bandages, medicine, everything. She's tearing up clothes to make dressings and using vodka to clean wounds. People are dying from infections. Small wounds that should heal just get infected and kill. There's nothing she can do. You see her crying once, just once. Then she wipes her face and gets back to work. The regular people in the basement are quiet. They don't complain. They don't ask for anything. They just huddle together and wait for it to be over. The 7-year-old girl, the one who doesn't talk. She draws sometimes with charcoal on the walls. Pictures of houses, trees, a sun, things that don't exist anymore. You watch her draw and try to remember what normal life was like. You can't quite do it. This is normal now. Broken buildings and gunfire and hunger. This is just life. The Germans try a new tactic, flamethrowers. They bring up flamethrower teams and try to burn you out. You can see them coming across the square. These guys in big gear carrying tanks on their backs. Everyone aims for the tanks. The first one explodes before he's halfway across. The fireball is incredible. It takes out 3 other guys. The rest retreat. They try again the next day. The same thing happens. After that, they go back to regular attacks. You've been in Pavlov's house for 3 weeks now. It feels like 3 years. Time doesn't work right anymore. Days mix together. You sleep when you can, eat when there's food, and fight when the Germans attack. That's it. That's the whole routine. Your rifle is basically part of your body now. You sleep with it. You clean it all the time. It's the only thing between you and death. Well, that and luck. Mostly luck. A shell hits the building. 3rd floor. You hear it coming. That whistling sound, then the hit. The whole building shakes. Dust and broken pieces rain down. You run up to check the damage. The 3rd floor is gone. Just gone. A giant hole where a room used to be. You can see straight through to the outside. 3 men were up there. You find 2 of them. Their bodies broken, buried in the rubble. The 3rd one is sitting against a wall, covered in dust. I'm okay, he says. I'm fine. He's not fine. His leg is bent the wrong way, with bones sticking through the skin. Nina comes up, takes one look, and shakes her head. You're not fine, she says. I'm fine, he insists. He's dead by morning. Shock, probably, or he lost too much blood. Hard to say. You bury him in the basement with the others. The basement is filling up with bodies. Your guys, regular people, even a couple of Germans who died during the first attack. You try not to think about it. Outside, the temperature keeps dropping. The broken buildings are covered in frost every morning. The Volga River is starting to freeze at the edges. Soon it'll be solid ice. That's bad for you. When the river freezes, supplies stop, no more boats. You'll be completely cut off, but it's also bad for the Germans. Winter is coming for real this time, and they're not ready. You can see it, hear it. They're suffering. Freezing at night, getting sick. Their equipment is breaking down in the cold. Tanks won't start. Guns jam, meanwhile. You've got winter gear, felt boots, thick gloves. You grew up with Russian winters. This is nothing. For the Germans, this is a nightmare. Good? You want them to suffer. You want them to freeze. You want them to understand what it feels like to be cold and hungry and scared. You want them to know what you've felt every single day since August. Petro calls a meeting. Everyone who is still alive. Maybe 15 men are left out of the group that started here. We're holding, he says. The commanders say help is coming. A big attack. They're going to surround the Germans. Cut them off. Nobody believes him. You've heard this before. Help is always coming. Victory is always just around the corner. But you keep holding on anyway, because what else are you going to do? The Volga is right there, a few hundred meters away. You can see it from the roof, dark and cold and wide. On the other side is safety. Supplies more soldiers. It might as well be on the moon. You're here. In Pavlov's house, in Stalingrad, and you're not leaving? Not until this is over, one way or another. November hits like a hammer. The cold, real cold. The kind that bites through your jacket and stays in your bones. You're not in Pavlov's house anymore. You got moved out 2 days ago. New orders. They're throwing everything they have at the factories now. The Barricade factory, the ones the Germans don't fully control yet. You almost miss Pavlov's house. Almost. The factory area is different. Worse, somehow, at least in the apartment buildings. You had rooms, walls here. It's just open workshops, the size of football fields. With huge machines everywhere. Lathes and presses and assembly lines. All silent now, dead. The Germans are on the other side of the main workshop. Maybe 100 meters away. You can hear them talking. Laughing sometimes. Coughing a lot. Your spot is behind a row of turned-over metal workbenches. Not much cover, but better than nothing. Dmitri is still with you, still alive, somehow. The frostbite on his toes got infected, but Nina treated it before you left. She cut off 2 of his toes with a kitchen knife. No medicine to numb the pain. He bit down on a leather belt and didn't scream much. "Hey, Alexei," he says now, his voice weak. "You know what I miss?" "What?" "Everything. Yeah, that makes sense. The factory fighting is a special kind of hell. During the day, you can't move. The Germans have machine guns set up to cover every spot. Step into the wrong place and you're torn to pieces. So you wait. You wait and you freeze and you try not to think about food. The food portions are a joke now. Yesterday, you got 2 tablespoons of millet, boiled in dirty water. That was it. That was the whole day's food. Your body is eating itself. You can feel it. Your muscles are gone. You are just skin and bones now. When you look at your arms, you see an old man's arms. You're 19. The hunger is always there. Not painful anymore. Just there. An emptiness that never goes away. You think about food all the time. You dream about it. Bread, potatoes, your mother's soup. You'd kill for a real meal. You probably have killed. You've lost count. The worst part is the cold mixed with the hunger. It burns through whatever energy you have. You're shivering all the time. You can't stop. You can't get warm. At night, you huddle with the other guys, pressed together for warmth. Nobody cares anymore. Feeling proud died weeks ago. The rats don't care about being proud either. They're everywhere, fat ones, sleek and healthy, while you're all starving. They eat the dead bodies, the ones you can't reach to bury. You can hear them at night, squeaking and fighting over the bodies. Some guys started eating the rats. You haven't, not yet, but you've thought about it. The lice are worse than the rats. Everyone has them. You can feel them crawling on your skin, in your hair, in your clothes. Biting all the time, you try to pick them off. But there are always more, thousands of them. The itching drives you crazy worse. They carry a sickness called typhus. Half your group has it, fever, headaches, seeing things that aren't there. You watch guys just waste away, burning up from the inside. You might have it too. It's hard to tell. Everyone is sick with something. The factory workshop is freezing, no heat. The wind blows straight through the broken windows, across the concrete floor. At night, the temperature drops to -20, -30 degrees. Your water freezes, your rifle freezes. You have to keep it inside your jacket to keep the parts from locking up. The Germans are freezing too. You can see them during the day when there's enough light. They look like dead bodies already, with empty eyes, moving slow. They've started wearing dead Soviet soldiers' clothes. You see them in Russian jackets, Russian boots, looking for anything they can find, like rats. Good. Let them freeze. The fighting is different here, not constant like before. Just sudden moments of violence. The Germans attack. You fight them off. They retreat. Everything goes quiet for hours. Then they attack again. It's like they're testing you, looking for weak spots. You're all weak spots now. One night, a German patrol tries to cross the workshop floor, 5 guys moving carefully. You can see their breath in the moonlight, coming through the broken roof. You wait until they're in the perfect spot to shoot. Then everyone opens fire at once. It's over in seconds. 5 bodies on the concrete. They don't even scream. They just drop. You go back to waiting. That's what this is now. Waiting, waiting to attack. Waiting to be attacked. Waiting to die. Waiting for something to change. A guy named Volov breaks. He just loses it. He starts screaming, stands up, and runs toward the German lines, shooting his rifle wildly. They cut him down before he makes it 10 meters. Nobody talks about it. You understand, though. You get it. Some days you want to do the same thing. Just stand up and end it. Quick and clean, but you don't. You keep your head down, keep breathing, keep being here. Because maybe there's a tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow is different. Probably not, but maybe. The regular people are gone now. They either left or killed. Who knows? The only people left in Stalingrad are soldiers. Soviet soldiers and German soldiers. Everyone else is dead or across the Volga. The city is just 2 armies trying to kill each other in the ruins of what used to be a city. You try to remember what it looked like before. Trees, parks, people walking around, doing normal things. You can't picture it. It feels like a dream. This is reality. Concrete and blood and smoke. The Germans bring up a flamethrower team again. They never learn. The guy gets maybe 20 meters before someone shoots the tank on his back. The explosion is beautiful. Orange and red, lighting up the whole workshop for a second. Then it's dark again. Dmitri laughs, actually laughs, for the first time in weeks. Did you see that? He says, did you see that? Yeah. You say, boom, he says. Just boom. He's lost it too. Maybe you all have. The days are getting shorter. The sun comes up late. It goes down early. More darkness. More time for Soviet attacks. You go on a raid, 10 men. The goal is simple. across the workshop. Throw grenades into the German spots. Get back. You make it across. The grenades go in. You hear screaming. Coming back, you step wrong. Your foot goes through a weak spot in the floor. You fall, but you catch yourself. But your boot comes off. It's stuck in the hole. You can't stop. The Germans are shooting. You run in one boot and a sock. You make it back. You realize your foot is bleeding. You cut it on something. It doesn't hurt yet. Petro looks at your foot. That's going to get infected, he says. Probably, you say. Try not to die, he says. I'll try. Your foot does get infected. It swells up. It turns different colors. Nina isn't here anymore. No medics, no medicine. Dmitri pours vodka on it. You nearly bite through your lip. Then he wraps it in a strip of cloth, torn from a dead German's shirt. Good as new, he says. Your foot feels like it's on fire, but you can still walk. That's what matters. The fighting gets more intense. The Germans are desperate now. They've been trying to take Stalingrad for months. They've thrown everything at you, lost thousands of men, and you're still here. They attack 3 times in one day. First soldiers, then tanks, and soldiers again. You beat them back every time. Barely. Your group is down to 8 men. It started with 48. You don't know their names anymore. You don't want to. They'll be dead soon anyway, except Dmitri. Dmitri is immortal. It seems. The cold is unbelievable now. The kind of cold that kills. You've seen it. Guys fall asleep on watch. They don't wake up. They are frozen solid by morning. You don't let yourself sleep. Not really. You just doze. Always aware. Always ready. The Germans are in the same situation. You can hear them at night crying, praying. Some of them call for their mothers. You feel nothing. They're the enemy. They came here. They started this. Now they're paying for it. There's a rumor going around. A big attack is coming. A Soviet counterattack is going to surround the Germans. Cut them off. You've heard this before. You don't believe it, but some guys do. You can see it in their eyes. Hope. A dangerous thing. Hope gets you killed. It's better to expect nothing. Then you can't be disappointed. The Volga is freezing solid now. Ice is forming at the edges. Soon the whole river will be frozen. That means no more supply boats. That means you're on your own. The commanders say they'll drop supplies from the air once the ice is thick enough for planes to land on. You'll believe it when you see it. Food is basically gone. You're eating whatever you can find. Scraps, boot leather. One guy boiled his belt and ate it. You catch a rat. You actually catch one. It's harder than it looks. They're fast. You kill it, clean it, and roast it over a small fire. It tastes like the best thing you've ever eaten. Dmitri watches you eat it. Save me a piece, he asks. You give him a leg. He chews it slowly, his eyes closed. 5 stars, he says. Would recommend? You almost smile. The next day, the Germans launched their biggest attack yet. Tanks, big guns, air support, everything. The workshop lights up. Shells exploding everywhere. The noise is incredible. Constant. You can't hear yourself think. You just fire. Reload, fire. Don't aim, don't think. Just shoot at anything that moves. A tank crashes through the far wall. Its gun turns toward your spot. You dive. The shell goes over your head and hits the wall behind you. The whole building shakes. You pop up. You fire at the tank. It's useless. Rifle bullets bounce off the armor. Someone else has an anti-tank rifle. They hit it. The tank stops. Smoke pours out. The crew gets out. You shoot them. All of them. The attack stops. The Germans pull back. You're still alive. Still alive. You count your bullets. 12 left. That's it. Everyone is low on bullets. The supply situation is terrible. If the Germans attack again tomorrow, you might not have enough bullets to stop them. But tomorrow doesn't come. The attack, anyway, the day comes. November 19th, cold and clear. You can see your breath. You're on watch, staring across the workshop at the German spots. Then you hear it. Big guns, lots of them, but not here, somewhere else. North of the city, the sound goes on for hours. A continuous roar from thousands of guns firing. The Germans in the factory hear it. 2. You can see them looking around, nervous. Something is happening. You don't know what. Not yet, but something big. The big guns stop on the third day. That's when you know something happened. The Germans across the workshop are acting weird. Grouped together, talking in urgent whispers. Officers are running around. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see the fear. Petro gets called to the headquarters. He comes back an hour later. His face is different. Not quite a smile, but close. Listen up, he says. Operation Uranus started 3 days ago. We hit them from the north and south. A huge attack. Soviet forces broke through the Romanian lines. So? Someone asks, so we've cut them off. The entire German Sixth Army is surrounded. They're trapped in Stalingrad. Nobody says anything for a minute. Then Dmitri starts laughing. Actually laughing. Not his usual dark laugh. Real laughter. We trapped them, he says. We trapped them. That's what I said, Petro replies. You try to understand this. For months. You've been the ones trapped, squeezed against the Volga, with your backs to the river, with nowhere to go. Now the Germans are trapped. All of them. 300,000 men sitting in a circle around Stalingrad, surrounded by Soviet forces. How long before we get help? You ask, Petro shrugs. The commanders say, hold the line. Keep pressure on them. Don't let them break out. So, nothing changes, really. You're still here, still fighting, still freezing and starving. But now the Germans are too. And that makes all the difference. Over the next few days, you watch the Germans change. The attacks stop, completely stop. They're not trying to take the factory anymore. They're just defending their spots. You can hear them arguing, shouting at each other. Something's broken over there. Their supply situation must be bad. Really bad, because they're surrounded now. No supply lines, no more soldiers coming. Just whatever they have with them. You almost feel bad for them, almost. The German officers try to keep order. You can see them, with their straight backs and loud voices. But the soldiers aren't listening anymore. They have empty eyes, are starving like you. Except you've been starving for months. You know how to keep going on nothing. How to keep moving when your body wants to quit. The Germans are just learning. One night, you hear shooting from the German lines. Not at you, at themselves. Someone was shot. They probably tried to run away. Good luck with that. Run away to where? You're surrounded? We're all surrounded. This whole city is a prison now. December comes, the cold gets worse. You didn't think it could get worse. You were wrong. Minus 40 degrees. That's what someone says. Minus 40 degrees. Your spit freezes before it hits the ground. Your breath comes out in clouds that freeze on your face. The Germans are dying from the cold now. You can see bodies in their trenches. Frozen solid, they're not even burying them. No energy, no tools, just leaving them there. Your group isn't much better. You're down to 5 men now. You, Dmitri, Petro, and 2 others whose names you finally learned. Ivan and Boris. Because it looks like they might actually survive. Maybe you all will. The Germans tried to break out on December 12th. Not from your area, somewhere south. You hear about it later. Some general named Manstein tried to punch through. He got close, real close, maybe 30 kilometers from the surrounded army. Then the Soviets stopped him. The Germans in Stalingrad waited for rescue, stayed in their spots, followed orders, and Manstein couldn't reach them. So they're still trapped. You start hearing planes at night, German planes, transport planes, flying over the city, dropping supplies. The Germans cheer when they hear them. You can hear it across the workshop. Real cheering, but the drops are a mess. Half the supplies land outside the surrounded area. The Soviets get them. The other half lands in the wrong spot. Everything gets destroyed, and it's not enough, not nearly enough. They'd need 500 tons a day to keep that army fed. They're getting maybe 100 on a good day. Do the math. The Germans are starving faster than you are now. Their food portions get cut, then cut again, you know. Because prisoners tell you, yeah, some are surrendering now. Not many, just the smart ones. They talk about eating horses. All the horses, down to the last one. Now they're eating the leather. The saddles, the harnesses, sound familiar? You've been there, done that, and have the scars. But you had months to get used to it. To learn how to survive on nothing. They've got weeks. The German soldiers across the workshop look like skeletons now. You can see their bones through their stolen Soviet uniforms. You can see their skulls under their skin. They look like you. Christmas comes. The Germans have this tradition. Christmas Eve is a big deal for them. It's sacred. You can hear them singing. Actually singing Christmas carols in German. Their voices float across the frozen workshop. Silent night, holy night. It's spooky, beautiful, and terrible at the same time. Dmitri listens. His face looks strange. My grandmother was German, he says. She used to sing that. You didn't know that. You don't say anything. You just listen to the singing. When it stops, the silence is worse. On Christmas Day, 1,300 Germans freeze to death. Just freeze in their spots. At their posts, too weak to move, too cold to survive. The temperature hits minus 45 degrees. You make it through the night by huddling with the others. 5 bodies pressed together under every blanket and coat you have. Breathing on each other, sharing warmth. It's the only way. In the morning, you check on the others. Everyone is alive, barely. Even lost 3 toes to frostbite. Boris can't feel his fingers, but they're breathing. That's a win. The Germans try offering supplies to any Soviet soldiers who will switch sides. Bread, meat, warm clothes, nobody takes it. Where would you go? Into the surrounded area? Into the trap? You'd rather starve out here with a chance than starve in there with none. The new year comes, 1943. You made it. You're still alive to see another year. Crazy. Petro breaks out some saved vodka. Just a capful each, but it burns going down. It warms you from the inside. To survival, he says. To survival, you all repeat. The Germans don't celebrate. They're too busy dying. The Luftwaffe planes stop coming as often. The weather is too bad. The Soviets are shooting them down. The airlift is failing. You can see it in the Germans' faces. The hope is draining away. It's being replaced by something else, giving up. They know they're dead. They just don't know when. January brings the final push. Soviet forces launch a new attack, not trying to break in, but trying to crush the surrounded army, squeeze it until it pops. The big guns are firing constantly now. Days and nights of shelling. The surrounded area is shrinking. The Germans are getting pushed into smaller and smaller areas. Your factory changes hands one more time. The Germans lose their last spots. They just give them up. They retreat. You walk through their old trenches. It's a cemetery. Bodies are frozen in place. Some are sitting up, some lying down, some in positions that don't make sense, until you realize they died in the middle of an action and just froze that way. You find their supply storage, empty cans, a few frozen potatoes. Some moldy bread. This is what they were living on. No wonder they're dead. You find a diary on one body. A German officer. You can't read German. But Petro can a little. He flips through it and reads some parts out loud. December 15th. Food portions cut again. Men are eating the horses. December 24th. Christmas Eve. Many men are crying. No food for 3 days. January 3rd. Cannot feel my feet. My group has lost half its soldiers to cold and starvation. January 10th. We are left alone. That's the last entry. You look at the frozen body and wonder who he was. If he had a family, if they know he's dead yet, then you stop wondering. He's the enemy. He came here to kill you. He lost. The end. The Germans in the surrounded area split in two. North and south. They can't even talk to each other anymore. Just two separate groups of dying men. The Soviets offer terms to surrender. Good ones. Medical care, food, and being sent home after the war. The German commander, some guy named Paulus, asks Hitler for permission to surrender. Hitler says no. Fight to the last man, the last bullet. For the glory of the Reich. So they keep fighting, keep dying for nothing. You almost respect them for it, almost. Following orders even when the orders are crazy, even when their leaders left them. Then you remember all the Soviet soldiers who died following crazy orders. Remember Order 227, not one step back. Yeah, orders are orders. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Another German patrol tries to surrender. 5 guys, hands up, a white flag. You let them come across. You take their weapons. You give them to the soldiers in the back. They can barely walk, literally skeletons. With their eyes sunk into their skulls, frostbitten, covered in lice. One of them cries when you give him bread. He just sobs and stuffs it in his mouth with shaking hands. Danke, he keeps saying. Danke, danke. You don't know what it means, but you can guess. They get led away toward the prison camps. Think they'll make it? Dmitri asks, maybe, you say. Better chance than staying. The German spots across the workshop are empty now. Just abandoned. You can walk right through them. It's over. The factory is yours. The city is yours. Well, what's left of it? Stalingrad is a dead body. A frozen, broken dead body of a city. Nothing is standing higher than 2 stories. Everything is burned or smashed or both. 500,000 people lived here once. Maybe 10,000 are left. The rest are dead or gone. You climb to what used to be the roof of the factory. You look out over the city. The Volga is solid ice. White and endless. Behind you to the west. You can see smoke. The German-held area is burning. Collapsing. They're finished. You can feel it. This is the end. But you're still here. Still breathing, still alive. Against all chances. Against everything. You survived Stalingrad. Not all of it. Not yet. They're still fighting. Still Germans holding out. But you can see the finish line now. And for the first time in months, you let yourself feel something other than fear. Hope, dangerous, stupid. It will probably get you killed. But there it is anyway. Hope, January 26th. The last German airfield falls. You watch it happen, the airfield at Gumrak. The Germans are retreating from it in a crowd. Not even an organized retreat, just running. That's it for them. No more supply flights. No more taking out the wounded. Whatever they have left is all they'll ever have. And they don't have much. The surrounded area is tiny now. Maybe 15 kilometers across. 300,000 men packed into a space the size of a small town. Most of them are already dead or dying. You can smell it from here. Death, rotting, even in the freezing cold. Your group gets moved to the back for the first time in months. Real rest, hot food, a chance to wash. You almost forgot what hot water feels like. There's a field kitchen set up in what used to be a school basement. They've got soup, real soup with chunks of meat in it. Potato, cabbage, you eat until you're sick. Then you eat more. Dmitri sits next to you. Both of you are just shoveling food into your mouths. Not talking, not thinking, just eating. This is the best day of my life. He says, his mouth full. Yeah, you agree. A medic checks you over. Looks at your infected foot, your frostbite, your ribs showing through your skin. You need a hospital? She says, no, you say. I'm fine. You're not fine. I'm alive. That's fine enough. She gives you some ointment for your foot, some pills for the infection, fresh socks, clean underwear. It's like Christmas. You sleep in a real bed that night. Well, a cot, but it's off the ground. It has a blanket. You sink into it and pass out for 14 hours straight. No dreams, no nightmares. Just nothing, wonderful nothing. When you wake up, Petro tells you Paulus got promoted, field marshal. The first one Hitler ever made on a battlefield. Why? You ask, because no German field marshal has ever surrendered. Petro says, Hitler is telling him to die. You think about that Hitler, safe in Berlin, is ordering a man to kill himself rather than admit he lost. Ordering 300,000 men to die for pride. Sounds about right. January 31st, news comes down. Paulus surrendered. The southern part of the surrounded army collapsed. 90,000 Germans are putting down their weapons. 90,000. You try to imagine that many people? You can't quite picture it. Is it over? Dmitri asks, not yet. Petro says, the northern part is still holding. Of course they are. 2 days later, on February 2nd, the northern part surrenders too. The last of them, the ones who held out, the true believers. They march out of their spots with their hands up. Thousands of them, walking skeletons in torn uniforms. You watch them shuffle past. These are the guys who were trying to kill you yesterday. Today, they're just ghosts. Their faces are blank, empty, like their souls have already left, and their bodies just haven't figured it out yet. An officer walks by, still trying to look proud. Straight back, clean-shaven somehow. But his eyes are dead. He sees you watching. He looks right at you. You hold his look. He looks away first. Yeah, you won. The prisoners keep coming for hours. A river of defeated men. Some are crying. Some are silent. Some are laughing like crazy people. The cold got to them. The hunger. The fear. It broke them completely. You understand? You were almost there yourself. Almost. But you had the Volga at your back. Home behind you. Something to fight for? They had Berlin 1,000 miles away, and orders from a crazy man. Not the same thing. The city starts to come alive again, slowly. Regular people come out from basements, from bunkers, from hiding places you didn't know existed. They look worse than the soldiers, starving, frozen, shocked by the battle, but alive. Kids with huge eyes stare at you. You try to smile, but you can't quite do it. Your face doesn't remember how. A woman comes up to you. Old, maybe 50. It's hard to tell. She could be 30 and just aged by the war. Is it over? She asks. Yes. You say. She starts crying. Just falls down in the street and sobs. You don't know what to do. You just stand there. It's awkward. Dmitri helps her up and walks her to a station for help. You explore the ruins, the factory area, the apartment buildings, the bank of the Volga. It's all destroyed, everything. Not a single building is whole. Just shells, skeletons of what used to be. You find Pavlov's house, still standing somehow. The walls are covered with bullet holes and scars from big guns. But it's there. The memorial words are already being carved. Someone painted on the wall, in this building, Heroic acts of war and work joined together. It's dramatic, but fair. You go inside. Down to the basement where the regular people hid, where Nina set up her help station. It's empty now. Just blood stains on the floor, bandages, empty bullet shells. The girls' drawings are still on the wall. The house, the tree, the sun, things that don't exist anymore. You trace your finger over the charcoal lines. You wonder if she made it. If she's one of the regular people you saw today. Probably not. The chances weren't good. But maybe, outside, soldiers are collecting bodies. Germans mostly, frozen in piles, in trenches. In the streets, thousands of them, tens of thousands. They load them onto trucks and take them to big graves outside the city. No ceremony, no prayers, just bodies and holes. The Soviet dead get buried separately, with a little more care. Not much, but some. You help carry a few. It's the least you can do. One guy still has his identification tag. His name, where he's from, some village you've never heard of. He was 19, same as you. You put him in the ground gently. You cover him with frozen earth. Someone should know. Someone should care. You walk through the German spots. The trenches they dug, the bunkers they built. You find letters, hundreds of them, never mailed, never sent. Just sitting there, you pick one up. You can't read German, but you can see the photos tucked inside. A wife, kids, a dog. He's not getting home to them. You leave the letters there. It's not your story to read. The lice are still a problem. Everyone is still covered in them. The cleaning stations are overwhelmed. Lines of soldiers are waiting to get cleaned. You wait your turn. You take off your clothes in a room that's barely warmer than outside. They spray you with chemicals that burn. They shave your head and give you clean clothes. You look in a mirror for the first time in months. You don't recognize yourself. The person staring back is a stranger. Hollow cheeks, sunken eyes, scars everywhere. You're 19 years old and you look 50. War does that. Food starts arriving, real supplies. Groups of trucks across the frozen Volga. Then trucks when the ice starts to melt. Bread, meat, vegetables, things you forgot existed. Your stomach can't handle it at first. You eat too much, get sick, throw up. You have to learn how to eat again. It takes days before you can keep food down properly. The weight comes back slowly. A little here, a little there. You're still like a skeleton, but less so. Dmitri gets bigger faster. He was always bigger than you. Look at us. He says one day, fat and happy, you're neither. But compared to December, it's true. The numbers of killed and hurt start coming in. Rough guesses, they'll be counting bodies for months. Soviet losses. Over 1 million. Dead, wounded, missing, gone. German losses. The entire 6th Army, 300,000 men. 91,000 surrendered. The rest dead. Their allies? Romanians, Italians, Hungarians, hundreds of thousands more. Regular people hurt. At least 40,000 in the first bombing. Another 130,000 during the battle and after. The numbers are so big, they stop meaning anything. You knew 50 guys in your original group. Started with 50, ended with 5. That math, you understand. The prisoners are marched to camps in Siberia. You watch them go. Columns of broken men shuffling through the snow. Most won't make it. Starvation, disease, the cold, the camps. Only about 6,000 will ever see Germany again. Out of 90,000? Do that math, too. You feel something like pity. Then you remember the Soviet prisoners the Germans took. The ones who were starved on purpose. Worked to death, shot. 3 million Soviet prisoners of war died in German camps. 3 million. Your pity disappears. They made their choices. They followed their leader into Russia, into Stalingrad. Now they pay. The medals start getting handed out. Hero of the Soviet Union, Orders of the Red Banner, awards. Your whole group gets medals. You get the Order of the Red Star for holding Pavlov's house. For surviving the factories. You pin it to your uniform. It's just metal. It doesn't mean anything. Except it does. It means you were here. You fought. You survived. That counts for something. Petro gets promoted. From lieutenant to captain. He deserves it. He kept you alive when smarter men would have gotten you killed. Dmitri jokes about it. Captain Petro. Sounds fancy. Still the same guy. Petro says, yeah. But now you outrank us. I always did. Orders come through. Your group is being put back together. Fresh new soldiers, new equipment. Training for the next push west toward Germany. The war isn't over, not even close, but Stalingrad is. And you survived it. You, Dmitri. Petro, Ivan, Boris. 5 out of 50. Those are your brothers now. The ones who made it through hell with you. The ones who understand what it was like. Nobody else will. Nobody else can. You'll try to tell the story someday. Try to explain what Stalingrad was. But words won't work. They can't work. Some things you have to live through to understand. And you lived through it. You still don't know how. Luck, maybe. Being stubborn. The kindness of something you don't believe in. It doesn't matter. You're here. You're alive. And that's enough. Your name isn't Alexei anymore. Your name is Hans. You're 22 years old. From a small town outside Munich, you joined the German army in 1940 because everyone was joining. Because it seemed like the war would be over in a year. Because Germany was winning. That was a long time ago. Now it's November 23rd, 1942. And you're about to realize you've been trapped. The morning starts normal, cold, miserable, but normal. Your group is dug in west of Stalingrad, guarding the supply paths. Easy duty compared to the guys fighting in the city. Then the big guns start, not from the city, but from behind you. From the north and south, huge bombardments. You can feel the ground shaking. What's happening? Your friend Carl asks. You don't know. The officers don't know either. They're running around with radios, shouting, getting orders that say different things. By noon, the rumors start. A Soviet breakthrough. A huge attack. The Romanians are falling apart. By evening, you know the truth. You're surrounded. The entire Sixth Army. 300,000 men cut off. Trapped in a circle around Stalingrad. They'll break through, your sergeant says. Help is coming. Hold your positions. You hold your positions. The help doesn't come. Days pass, then a week. The circle gets smaller. Soviet forces are pressing in from all sides. Your supplies are running low. The supply places are outside the circle, captured. Everything you need is on the wrong side of the Soviet lines. The airdrops start. Transport planes flying overhead at night, dropping crates with parachutes. Most of them miss and land in Soviet territory. The rest lands scattered across the circle. You spend hours searching the snow for supply cans. Sometimes you find them. Sometimes the Soviets find them first. The food portions get cut. From full portions to 3/4, then half, then a third. Your stomach is always empty now, always growling. You think about food constantly. Schnitzel, bread, your mother's stew. Things that don't exist anymore. December comes. The cold is worse than anything you experienced in France or Poland. This is Russian cold, Siberian cold, the kind that kills. Your uniform isn't made for this. You've got a heavy coat, regular boots, and a helmet that sends cold straight to your head. You watch guys lose fingers to frostbite. Toes and noses turn black and fall off. Carl gets frostbite on his feet, both feet. The medic looks at them and shakes his head. Keep them warm, he says. That's all I can do. Karl can barely walk after that. But he stays at his post, because where else would he go? The horses disappear first. All of them. Killed for meat. You eat horse for a week. It's tough and stringy. But it's food. When the horses are gone, you start eating the leather, saddles, harnesses, belts. You boil them until they're soft enough to chew. It tastes like rubber, but your stomach doesn't care. The food portions keep shrinking. In mid-December, you get 300 grams of bread per day. That's 3 thin slices, then 200 grams. Then 100 grams of bread. That's it. That's all you eat in a day. You can feel yourself disappearing. Your body is eating itself. Your muscles are melting away. And your bones are pushing through your skin. Your mind gets foggy. It's hard to think, hard to focus. Everything takes twice as long. Karl stops talking. He just sits in the trench, staring at nothing. Are you okay? You ask. He doesn't answer. On Christmas Eve, someone finds vodka, real vodka. You each get a capful. You drink it and cry. The next day, Karl dies, just dies in his sleep. He didn't wake up. You check his pockets and find a photo. His wife and daughter, smiling. They don't know he's dead yet. They won't know for months, maybe years. You take his food for the day. He doesn't need it. You do. The wounded are piling up. Guys with missing arms or legs. Wounds from shrapnel. Frostbite so bad their feet are rotting. There's no medicine, no morphine, no bandages. The medics use strips of uniform to wrap wounds. They use snow to clean them. Infections kill more than bullets now. A small cut gets infected. Fever, seeing things, death. You've got a cut on your hand. It happened 3 days ago. It's red now, swollen. Hot to the touch. You wash it with snow. You pour vodka on it when you can find any. You pray it doesn't get worse. It gets worse. The airlift is failing. You can see it. Fewer planes each night, smaller drops. The Luftwaffe can't keep up. They can't deliver enough. You need 500 tons of supplies a day. You're getting 100, maybe. Do that math. New Year's comes. 1943, you're still alive, barely. The skin on your face is cracked and bleeding from the cold. Your fingers won't bend properly. Your stomach has stopped growling. It just aches, a deep, constant ache. You weigh maybe 50 kilos now. You've lost 30 kilos in 2 months. Your uniform hangs off you like a scarecrow's clothes. Then the miracle rations arrive. That's what the officers call them. Miracle rations, new supplies, high-calorie meat paste designed just for extreme conditions. You get a can and open it. The paste inside is brown and thick. It smells okay. You eat it, it's rich. Really rich, fatty, like pure fat mixed with meat. Your stomach isn't ready. You throw up, you try again. You keep it down this time, over the next few days. You eat the meat paste, everyone does, finally. Some real calories, real energy, and guys start dying. Not from wounds, not from cold, just dying on watch duty during roll call. In the middle of a sentence, healthy guys. Well, as healthy as anyone can be. 1 minute they're fine. The next minute they're dead. Nobody understands it. The officers are panicking. Poison? Sabotage? A doctor arrives, does autopsies, takes samples, and figures it out. The meat paste. It's the meat paste. Too much fat. Your body had gotten used to starving. It started burning your own fat for energy. It got really good at it. Then suddenly you're eating pure fat. Your body goes into overdrive. It burns through your remaining fat so fast you just die. Starved to death by food. The irony would be funny if it weren't so horrible. The meat paste gets taken away. It's back to regular starvation. At least that kills you slowly. Your infection isn't getting better. Your hand is swollen to twice its normal size. Red streaks are running up your arm. Blood poisoning, sepsis. You know what that means. The medic looks at it. I can amputate, he says. You have no tools, you say. I have a knife. You think about it. Losing your hand. Here, now in this frozen hell. Maybe tomorrow, you say. The next day, you can't find the medic. He died during the night, froze to death in his sleep. Your hand gets worse. A fever sets in. Everything gets hazy. You're hot and cold at the same time, shivering but sweating. Someone gives you water. You drink it. You can't remember who it was. The circle keeps shrinking. The Soviets are pushing in from all sides. You retreat, then retreat again, giving up ground you fought for, ground that guys died for. It doesn't matter now. Just stay alive. Just survive one more day. The airfield at Gomrak Falls. That's the last one. No more flights, no more supplies. No more taking out the wounded. You're sealed in. Buried alive in the snow and ruins. General Paulus sends a message to Hitler. He asks for permission to surrender. To save the army. To save the men. Hitler says no. Fight to the last bullet for the fatherland. Easy for him to say. He's in Berlin, warm, fed, safe. You're here, freezing, starving, dying. January 26th. Or maybe the 27th. You've lost track. The days blend together. Someone says Paulus got promoted. Field Marshal. Hitler made him a Field Marshal. Why? Someone asks, because no German Field Marshal has ever surrendered. Another guy says, it's an order to die. Everyone goes quiet. You're being ordered to die. For what? For Hitler? For Germany? For a city 1,000 miles from home? You don't believe in it anymore. You can't remember if you ever did. January 31st. The rumors spread fast. Paulus surrendered. The southern part of the circle collapsed. Officers are destroying documents, burning papers, getting ready for the end. Your sergeant gathers everyone. Maybe 20 guys are left out of a company that started with 150. We're surrendering tomorrow, he says. Orders from the top. Lay down your weapons. March to the Soviet positions. Hands up. Nobody argues you're too tired. Too hungry. Too dead already. That night, you can't sleep. Tomorrow you'll be a prisoner. Or dead. Probably both. You think about home. Your parents. Your little sister. You wonder if you'll ever see them again. Probably not. February 2nd dawn. Your sergeant has everyone line up. Destroy your weapons, he orders. Leave them here. We're walking out. You smash your rifle against a rock. You break it. You leave it in the snow. The walk to the Soviet lines takes an hour. You move slowly. You can barely walk. Leaning on each other, Soviet soldiers wait at a checkpoint. Their rifles are ready. They look shocked when they see you. You must look like death. Because you are walking death, they take your weapons. They search you. They take your coat, your boots, everything. March, they order in broken German. You march west, away from Stalingrad, toward the prison camps. The line of prisoners stretches for miles. Thousands of men, all walking corpses, all defeated. Guys collapse in the snow. They can't get up. The guards sometimes shoot them. Sometimes they just leave them to freeze. You keep walking, one foot, then the other. Don't think, just walk. You make it to the first camp, Beketovka, a frozen field with barbed wire. No buildings, no shelter, just open ground. They leave you there, thousands of prisoners in the snow. No food, no water, no medical care. You sit down. You can't stand anymore. The cold soaks through your thin clothes. This is it. This is where you die. Not in battle, not fighting. Just sitting in the snow in a prison camp. You think about your mother. You hope she never finds out how you died. You hope she thinks you went quickly, like a hero. Not like this. The night comes, the temperature drops. Guys around you stop moving, stop breathing. You close your eyes. Just for a minute, just to rest. Your body is so tired, so cold, so done. Sleep pulls at you, deep and warm and final. Unlike the warm bed you're in right now. The safe bed, the comfortable one, where you can rest without fear, without hunger, without cold. Hold on to that. Remember that some didn't make it to tomorrow, but you did. Your name is Katya. You're 7 years old. You live in a basement now. You used to live in an apartment on the 4th floor. It had a nice view of the Volga. You remember standing at the window, watching the boats. That was before. Now there's no window, no apartment, just the basement. Your mother is with you. Papa isn't. He left in June. He put on a uniform. He said he'd be back soon. That was 4 months ago. The basement is crowded. 10 people. Families who lived in the building. Mrs. Orlova from the 2nd floor. The Petrov family, Mr. Sokolov. The old man who always smelled like tobacco. Everyone is here, hiding. The bombing started 3 days ago. Or maybe 4. It's hard to tell. Time doesn't work right in the basement. You remember the sound. Like thunder that never stops. The building shaking. Dust falling from the ceiling. Your mother pulling you close. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're safe down here." You didn't believe her. You still don't, but you stopped crying. Crying doesn't help. The first time you went upstairs, you didn't recognize your apartment. The walls were gone. Just gone. You could see the sky through holes in the ceiling. Your bed was buried under broken pieces. Your toys, everything. Mama found your doll. Clara. She was dirty, but okay. You've kept her close ever since. The soldiers came on the 4th day, or maybe the 5th. Soviet soldiers. They looked tired, scared, and young. One of them, a boy named Alexei, smiled at you. "Hey there. What's your name?" You didn't answer. Mama taught you not to talk to strangers. "It's okay," Mama said. "You can tell him." "Katya," you whispered. "Nice to meet you, Katya. We're going to defend this building. Keep you safe." You wanted to believe him. The soldiers set up spots to fight from upstairs. With machine guns in the windows and barbed wire outside. You could hear them working, shouting orders, dragging heavy things across the floor. Then the Germans came. You've never seen a German before. Mama always talked about them like they were monsters. But when you peek up the stairs during a quiet moment, you see they look like regular men, just in different uniforms. That's scarier, somehow. That regular men can do this. The fighting starts and doesn't stop. Explosions, gunfire, screaming. The whole building shakes. You hide in the corner with Clara. You put your hands over your ears. You close your eyes. It doesn't help. The noise gets through anyway. A woman appears in the basement one day. A nurse, Nina. She's young, maybe 20. She sets up in the corner. Bandages, medicine bottles, a table made from boards. The wounded soldiers come down, bleeding, missing pieces, making sounds you've never heard people make. Nina works on them, quick and calm. She talks to them while she works. She tells them they'll be okay. Some of them are okay, some aren't. The bodies get carried out at night. You try not to look. You try not to count. Food becomes a problem. Mama had some bread stored. A few potatoes, some dried fish that lasted 3 days, then it was gone. The soldiers share their food sometimes. A piece of bread, a handful of grain, not much. They don't have much. You get hungry, really hungry. Your stomach hurts all the time. Mama says you'll get used to it. You don't. You find a piece of charcoal one day, black and crumbly. You pick it up. You look at the basement wall. Nobody's using that wall. You draw a house, like your old apartment, with windows and a door, flowers in front. Mama sees it. She doesn't say anything, just watches. You draw a tree next to the house, then a sun, a bird, things you remember from before. The days blur together. You wake up. You eat a tiny bit of food if there is any. You listen to the fighting. You sleep when you can. The soldiers change. New ones come. Old ones leave or die. Alexei is still here. You see him sometimes. He always asks how you're doing. Good. You lie. He knows you're lying. But he smiles anyway. October brings cold. You can feel it coming through the walls. The basement was warm before. Underground stays warm, but not anymore. Mama wraps you in blankets, coats, everything she can find. You still shiver. The water runs out. The pipes broke weeks ago. Now you have to melt snow. When there's snow, when there isn't. You drink what the soldiers bring from the river. It tastes wrong. It makes your stomach hurt. But you drink it anyway. Mrs. Orlova dies in November. She just dies, old age. Maybe hunger, stress. It's hard to say. The soldiers help carry her out. They bury her somewhere. Her spot in the basement stays empty. Nobody wants to sit there. You add to your drawings a dog, a cat, a wagon. Things from before, mister. Sokolov asks what you're drawing. Home, you say. He looks at it for a long time. That's nice, he says quietly. The fighting gets worse. The building shakes constantly. Bits of ceiling fall down. You move to a corner that seems safer. Nina treats more soldiers. She is running out of supplies. She's using torn clothes as bandages now. Vodka to clean wounds. You watch her work. Quick hands, never stopping. You want to be brave like her when you grow up. If you grow up, November becomes December. The cold is so bad you can't stand it. You sleep pressed against Mama for warmth. Even Clara gets tucked inside your coat. Food is almost gone. You eat once a day now. Sometimes a few spoonfuls of something. Boiled grain, bread so hard you have to soak it in water. Your body is changing. You can feel your ribs. Your arms are like sticks. Mama looks sick, thin, and pale. But she smiles at you. We're okay, she says. We're still here. The soldiers bring you things sometimes. A piece of chocolate. Someone found it in a German pack. You split it with Mama. You make it last 3 days, tiny bites. You let it melt on your tongue. It's the best thing you ever tasted. You draw more. You cover the whole wall. Houses and trees and people. A whole world on the basement wall. A better world. Alexei sees it one day. He stops and stares. This is beautiful. Katya, he says. You shrug. It's just drawings. No. Really, this is important. Don't stop. So you don't. Christmas comes. You didn't think about Christmas until someone says it. The Petrov family tries to celebrate. Mrs. Petrovna finds a candle and lights it. Everyone sits around it. Nobody has presents. Nobody has food for a big meal. But you sit together in the candlelight, and it feels like something. Mr. Petrov tells a story about Christmas when he was a boy. Snow and sledding and hot cocoa. You listen. You picture it. And you add it to your wall later. A sled. Snow. A steaming cup. New Year's arrives. 1943. You made it to another year. Mama hugs you. We're going to be okay, she says. This year will be better. You want to believe her? January brings noise from far away. Big booms, not nearby, somewhere else. The soldiers get excited. Something about a big attack. About surrounding the enemy. You don't understand. But they're smiling. That's good. The fighting slows down. Fewer attacks, quieter nights. You can hear yourself think. Then one day it stops. It just stops. The silence is strange. Not normal. You've lived with noise for months. Now there's nothing. The soldiers go upstairs. They come back down. It's over, Alexei says. The Germans surrendered. We won. Won? What did you win? Your apartment is destroyed. Your papa is gone. Half the people you knew are dead. But the fighting stopped. That counts for something. Evacuation comes in February. Soldiers help you upstairs. Out of the basement, into the daylight. You haven't seen the sun in months. It's bright, too bright. You cover your eyes. The city is gone. Just ruins. Broken pieces, smoke. Everything is destroyed. You look for your apartment building. You can't find it. Everything looks the same, broken. They take you across the Volga on trucks. The ice is thick enough now. You ride in the back, pressed against Mama. Other regular people around you. All quiet, all staring. On the other side is a camp. Tents, food stations, medical care. A woman gives you soup. Real soup with vegetables. You eat it slowly. You haven't had real food in months. It makes you sick. You throw up. You try again. You keep it down the second time. Mama cries when they give her bread. She just sobs. The woman at the station hugs her. It's okay, the woman says. You're safe now. A doctor checks you. He shakes his head. Not enough food, not enough water. Likely damage from the cold, but she's alive. Will she be okay? Mama asks. In time, he says. With food and rest, yes. She'll be okay. You stay in the camp for a week. Slowly eating more, slowly getting stronger. Your body doesn't know how to be warm, how to be full. It has to remember other children are there. Survivors. You try to play with them. You can't quite remember how. It's been so long, you draw instead. You find some paper and a pencil. You draw your basement, the soldiers, Nina, the wall with all your pictures. Someone says you're going to Siberia to live with relatives. Somewhere safe, somewhere away from the war. You don't want to go, but you don't want to stay either. Stalingrad isn't home anymore. Home doesn't exist before you leave. You ask about Alexei, the soldier who is kind to you. He's alive, someone says. He was moved to another group, heading west. Good. He deserves to live. On the last day, you go back to see the basement. They let you, with someone watching. Your drawings are still there on the wall. The house, the tree, the sun. All of it, you touch them. You remember drawing each one? You remember why. Can I take them? You ask. They're on the wall. Mama says gently. I know. You take out your pencil. You draw one more thing. Right in the center, a girl holding a doll. Smiling. You, from before, when smiling was normal. Then you leave. The truck takes you away from Stalingrad, away from the ruins, away from the basement that kept you alive. You watch the city disappear behind you, smoke rising from the broken pieces. Soldiers moving through the streets. You're 7 years old. You survived the deadliest battle in history. You'll carry it forever in your memories, in your bones, in your dreams, but you survived. And right now, that's enough. Your name is Alexei again. It's May 2nd, 1945. You're standing in Berlin, in the ruins of the Reich. The war is over. You made it. 3 years since Stalingrad. 3 years of fighting. Poland, Belarus, Germany. All the way here, Dmitri is still with you. You can't believe it. You both survived everything. Every battle, every winter, every impossible situation. Petro is here too. A colonel now. He got promoted twice more. He's still the same guy who kept you alive in that apartment building. Even died in Warsaw. Boris made it to Berlin, but got hit by a shell 2 days before the surrender. He almost made it all the way. Almost. You think about Stalingrad a lot, more than you want to. The basement, the factory, the cold, the hunger. The girl who drew on the walls. Katya. You wonder if she made it. You hope she did. The German surrender happens in stages, different commanders, different areas. You accept one yourself. Some colonel looks defeated, broken. You remember being that close to broken. You remember November, December, the edge of giving up. You didn't. He did. Different situations. Different war, but still, the celebrations start. Soviet flags are everywhere. Soldiers are singing, drinking, dancing in the streets. You join in. You should be happy. You won. You survived. You made it all the way to Berlin. But you're tired. So tired, not sleepy tired, but soul tired, bone tired, the kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. You've seen too much, done too much, lost too much. Dmitri finds you sitting on some broken pieces of a building. He hands you a bottle of vodka. We made it, he says. Yeah, Stalingrad to Berlin. A hell of a trip. Yeah. He sits next to you. Both of you are quiet. The celebration happens around you. But you're not part of it. Not really. You're somewhere else. Somewhere cold and burning. Somewhere that doesn't exist anymore, but never really left. Do you think about them? Dmitri asks, you know who he means. The ones who didn't make it. The 45 others from your original group. Karl, Ivan, Boris, all of them. Every day you say, me too. You drink, pass the bottle back, and watch the sun set over the ruins of Berlin. It looks like Stalingrad. Same broken pieces, same destruction. Same smell of smoke and death. You did this. Your army did this. You destroyed a city just like the Germans destroyed yours. The fact that it's the same on both sides is lost on you. You're too tired to care. Going home takes months. The war ends. But the army doesn't just let you go. Occupation duty, rebuilding, paperwork. Finally, in August, you get your papers to leave the army. Permission to go home. Home. You haven't thought about home in years. You blocked it out. You couldn't think about it and do your job. Now you have to. Your village is still there. Smaller, quieter. A lot of people didn't come back. Your mother cries when she sees you. She just grabs you and sobs. Your father shakes your hand, grips it hard, and doesn't say anything. He doesn't have to. Your little sister is 10 now. She was 5 when you left. She doesn't remember you very well. You don't remember yourself very well either. The village has a memorial. Names are carved in stone. People who died in the war. You read them. You recognize most of them. Guys you grew up with, went to school with. They're on the stone. You're not luck. That's all it was. Luck and maybe being stubborn. Civilian life is strange, quiet, safe. Nobody is shooting at you. Nobody is trying to kill you. You can walk down the street without checking for snipers. It feels wrong somehow. Too easy, too safe. You can't sleep. Every night you lie there staring at the ceiling. Your body is tired, but your mind is racing. When you do sleep, the dreams come. The factory, the bombing, the faces of the dead, German and Soviet. All of them are staring at you. You wake up sweating, your heart pounding, reaching for a rifle that isn't there. Your mother makes your favorite foods, things you dreamed about in Stalingrad. Soup, fresh bread, meat, you can't taste it. It all tastes like nothing, but you eat it anyway, because she made it for you. Because she's trying to help. Dmitri shows up one day. He just appears at your door. He's visiting family nearby. He thought he'd stop by. You sit together. You don't talk much. You don't need to. He gets it. He's the only person who gets it. Does it get better? You ask. Don't know yet, he says. Ask me in 10 years. You try to work. Help on the farm. Fix things. Build things. Normal life, but your hands shake. Your mind wanders. You're there, but not there. People thank you for your service. They call you a hero. You don't feel like a hero. Heroes are the ones who died. You just got lucky. The nightmares continue years later, decades later. They never fully go away. But they get quieter, happen less often, are easier to handle. You learn to live with them. You learn to live, period. You find small joys, small victories, a good harvest, a sunny day. Your sister's wedding, life rebuilds itself slowly. Not perfectly, but it rebuilds. You never talk about Stalingrad, not really. People ask. You give them the simple version, the clean version. What actually happened stays locked inside. It's too big, too heavy, too much. Dmitri visits. Sometimes you sit together. Sometimes you talk. Sometimes you don't. You just exist in the same space. Two people who understand. Petro writes letters. He moved to Moscow, got married, has kids. Is living a full life. Good. Someone should. Years pass, the world moves on. The war becomes history. Then a memory. Then stories people tell. You get old. You watch your hair go gray. Your body slows down. The young people look at you and see an old man. You look in the mirror and see that 19-year-old kid in Stalingrad, scared, hungry, trying to survive. He's still in there. He will always be in there. Your village builds a museum, a small one, local history. They ask if you'll donate something. Your medals, your uniform. You give them a photo, you and Dmitri. Taken in 1946, both of you are young still. Both of you are trying to smile. Tell them, you say to the person in charge of the museum. Tell them we were just trying to live. That's all, not trying to be heroes. Just trying to survive. She promises she will. On quiet nights, you think about the others. The ones who didn't make it. You wonder what they'd be doing now. Who they'd have become. Carl might have been a teacher. Even talked about opening a shop. Boris wanted to see the ocean. None of them got the chance. You got the chance. You're still here, still breathing, still watching sunsets and feeling rain and eating bread. Simple things, things you couldn't do in Stalingrad. Things worth living for. You think about Katya sometimes, the girl with the drawings. You hope she grew up, got married, had kids, had a life. You hope her drawings decorated a real house eventually. With real windows and real flowers, you hope she made it. The statistics come out over the years. Official numbers, unofficial guesses, arguments about the true cost. 1 million Soviet casualties. Military, civilian, dead, wounded, missing. Over 400,000 German casualties in the battle alone. 91,000 surrendered. Most never came home. The numbers are so big, they lose their meaning. You can't picture 1 million people. You can't imagine that much death. You just picture the 50 guys in your unit. 45 dead, 5 alive. That math you understand. Multiply it by 20,000. That's Stalingrad. But the numbers aren't the whole story. They never are. The story is the cold, the hunger, the fear. The small moments of being human in the middle of hell. The story is Nina working through the night to save men who die anyway. Dmitri making jokes when there was nothing to laugh about. Katya drawing houses on basement walls. The story is survival. Stubborn, desperate, impossible survival. That's what matters. Not the grand plan. Not the turning point of the war. Not the heroic story. Just people trying to live. Trying to make it to tomorrow. And the tomorrow after that. Some did, some didn't. You did. And now, all these years later, you're grateful for the simple things. For warm beds and full stomachs and safety. For being able to close your eyes at night without wondering if you'll wake up. For the life you got to live after Stalingrad. It wasn't the life you planned. It wasn't the life you wanted at 19. But it was a life full and real and yours. That's enough, more than enough. You close your eyes now in your warm bed, in your safe house, in a world that's not burning. And unlike those who didn't make it through that frozen hell, you rest.